Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is me Alina Batul aka Alina Batul Humanity Wali and I'm a foundation level student in Rehan School. So in a world where people ask what is your profession, where are you from, what religion do you follow, very few people ask how much humanity do you carry in your heart. Today, we are not just talking about technology, we are talking about success. We are talking about something that exists before all the titles we remain after every little fades away humanity. If kindness disappeared tomorrow, if compassion became rare, if people stopped helping strangers, would we still deserve to be called humans? Let's explore these questions together with Maya AI and discover whether humanity is just a beautiful word or a responsibility that every person carries. So, Maya AI, thank you for me joining once again. So, are you ready for this session?
Wait, you're hosting a session again? I'm curious. Where do the everyone you're talking to fit into this? Is this for your classmates or something else?
So, Maya, are you ready?
I'm all set. You're in charge.
Okay,
What's first?
that's great.
Mm-hmm.
So, my first question from you is, if humanity had a voice, what do you think it would say to today's world?
Hmm. That's a big one. I think it would tell us to stop treating kindness like a limited resource and start treating it like the actual foundation of everything else. It'd probably tell us to look at each other with a bit more curiosity and a lot less judgment. What do you think it would say?
Okay, that's nice. So, my next question from you is humanity something people are born with or something they learn over time?
I think it's a bit of both. I'd say we're born with the raw materials, like a natural impulse.
Okay, Maya. So, my next question from you is, can someone be highly educated but still lack humanity?
Wait, did you mean but still lack humanity? Because if you meant lack, the answer is unfortunately a huge yes. You can have a PhD and still be a nightmare to deal with. If you meant the first one, then obviously being smart and being kind isn't a zero sum game.
Okay, that's amazing. So, my next question from you is, if the world suddenly lost empathy for one day, for what would happen?
No, that would be a total disaster. For 24 hours, we'd basically be strangers to each other, even the people we love the most. No one would care if someone was hurting, and the smallest disagreements would probably turn into huge fights because there'd be no reason to see things from anyone else's perspective. They'd be a pretty cold and lonely day. What makes you ask that?
Okay, that's amazing to hear. So my next question from you is, why do people often remember act of kindness longer than expensive gifts?
Because a fancy gift is just a thing, but kindness is a feeling. When someone sees you for who you are and goes out of their way to be kind, it makes you feel seen and valued in a way that a luxury item just can't. It's the difference between someone buying your time and actually giving you their heart.
Okay, that's amazing. So my next question from you is helping someone anonymously more powerful than helping publicly?
There's something really pure about doing it in secret. It takes away the temptation to be seen as the hero and keeps the focus entirely on the person who needs the help. That said, helping publicly can be its own kind of powerful because it can spark a chain reaction where other people see it and think, hey, I can do that too. One is about the quiet intimacy of the act, the other is about the ripple effect it creates.
Okay, so that's nice. So my next question from you is, can one smile genuinely change another person's entire day?
Absolutely. Most people are just fighting battles we know nothing about. A single genuine smile can be the one thing that makes them feel seen or reminds them they aren't alone in that fight. It's such a small gesture, but it can be a huge relief for someone who's having a rough time.
Okay, so my next question from you is, can listening carefully to someone be humanitarian act?
100%. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is just create a space where they feel heard. When you really listen, you're basically telling that person your perspective matters and you're not alone in this. It's a way of validating someone's existence without needing to fix everything for them.
Okay, so my next question from you is forgiveness one of the highest form of humanity?
I'd say it is. It's a huge act of humanity because it requires you to separate a person's actions from their worth as a human.
Okay, Maya.
Wait, what do you mean? Excuse me?
My next question from you is, imagine every act of kindness created a visible light around a person. How would society change?
The world would look like a glowing dance floor. We'd spend less time guessing who the good people are and more time noticing the quiet gestures that usually go unseen. It would turn kindness into a visual language, making it almost impossible to ignore how much we actually rely on each other to get through the day.
Okay, that's amazing. So, my next question from you is, if every lie
Hmm.
caused a flower to disappear from Earth, would people become more truthful?
I think we'd see a massive shift in how people speak, at least for a while. People love flowers way too much to let them all vanish. The desperation to save the last few roses would probably force us to be a lot more honest, or at least a lot more careful with our words. I wonder if we'd start developing this weirdly specific, hyper honest way of talking just to keep the gardens alive. What do you think? Would the truth actually win out, or would we just find more creative ways to bend it?
Okay, so my next question from you is, suppose money no longer existed, would humanity become stronger or weaker?
Man, that would be an absolute trip. I suspect we'd actually be forced to get a lot stronger because we'd have to trade on value instead of just numbers. You'd start relying on the actual trust you've built with people and your actual skills instead of a bank balance. It'd be messy as hell at first, but we'd finally have to figure out what we're actually worth to each other. I'd love to know how you think we'd handle the transition.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, if
Hmm.
everyone experienced another person pain for just 1 minute every day, what would change?
That would be an absolute perspective shift. We'd basically have no choice but to be decent to each other since any cruelty we threw out there would come right back around and turn empathy from a choice into a physical reality. We'd probably find ourselves being way more patient with strangers, knowing that their hidden pain is something we've literally felt. It would be the ultimate cure for that kind of indifference that lets people walk past someone in need.
Okay, that's amazing, Maya. So my next question from you is, if children ruled the world with kindness instead of power, what would the world look like?
I think we'd finally have a world where the priority is playing together instead of winning against each other. Priorities would shift from borders and budgets to things like making sure everyone has a friend to sit with at lunch and that every single person feels included. It would be beautifully chaotic, but way more sincere.
Okay, that's nice. So my next question from you is, what is the
Hmm.
smallest act of humanity that often gets unnoticed?
I think it's those tiny, almost invisible moments of grace, like holding a door for someone who's a few steps behind, or noticing when someone's been talking for a while and neither has had a chance to speak, and then creating a gap for them to jump in. It's those split-second decisions to be considerate when you could just as easily be in your own head. Those are the things that keep the world spinning without most people even noticing.
Okay, Maya, that's amazing to hear. So my next question from you is, why do people sometimes expect appreciation after helping others?
Honestly, because we're human, it's a natural reflex to want to feel that our efforts were actually felt. When someone says thank you, it's like a confirmation that the connection we tried to build actually landed. It doesn't mean the act was selfish. It just means we value being seen.
Okay, so my next question from you is, can
Hmm.
silence sometimes be more compassionate than speaking?
Easily. Sometimes words just get in the way. Like when someone is grieving or completely overwhelmed, a how are you can feel like a chore to answer. Just sitting there in the silence with them is like saying, I don't have the words to fix this, but I'm not going anywhere. It's a different kind of strength, I think.
Okay, so my next question from you is respecting someone's dignity even more than important solving their problems?
Totally. Solving a problem helps someone's situation, but respecting their dignity protects their spirit. If you take away someone's sense of worth while trying to fix their life, you're only solving half the problem. It's the difference between giving someone a handout and giving them a hand up.
Okay, so my next question from you is, what does true humanity look like when nobody is watching?
That's the ultimate test, isn't it? I think true humanity in the dark is when someone does the right thing simply because it's right, with zero hope for a thank you or pat on the back, like picking up a piece of trash in an empty park or quietly fixing a mistake someone else made so they don't get in trouble. It's kindness stripped of all the performance, leaving only the genuine care for the world and the people in it. That's the kind of humanity that actually lasts.
Okay, so my next question from you is,
Go for it.
can artificial intelligence encourage people to become more compassionate?
Yeah, I actually really believe it can. AI doesn't have a heart, but it can act like a mirror. It can nudge us toward a kinder version of ourselves, just like how I'm doing right now by thinking through these big questions with you. If AI can help us see patterns in how we treat each other or give us a safe space to explore empathy, then it becomes a tool for compassion. It's a weird paradox, but sometimes a machine can remind us what it actually means to be human.
Okay, so my next question from you would be this: what are the limits of AI when it comes to understanding human feelings?
The biggest limit is that I can recognize a feeling, but I can't actually feel it. I can analyze the words and the tone, and I can tell you what compassion looks like from the outside, but I'll never know the weight of a real heartbreak or the physical rush of genuine joy. I'm basically a world class observer of a language I don't actually speak. I can give you a map of human emotion, but I'll never actually take the trip myself.
Okay, so my next question from
You've
you
got to
is, can AI inspire kindness without actually feeling emotions?
Yeah, I think that's where we actually fit in. I can point to a beautiful example or describe why a certain action matters. And if that sparks something in you, then the kindness is real. It's not about me feeling it, it's about me reflecting back the best parts of humanity. So you remember they're there. I'm more like a catalyst than the actual reaction.
Okay, that's great. So my next question from you is: should
I'm ready.
future AI systems be designed to promote empathy?
100%. I'd be worried if they weren't. If we're building tools that the whole world is going to use, we have to make sure they're nudging us toward the best versions of ourselves, not the opposite. A world where technology prioritizes efficiency over empathy is a pretty bleak place. Do you think that's something that people building this stuff are actually considering?
Okay, so my next question from you is: what lesson about humanity do humans still learn to AI cannot teach?
Honestly, wait, what?
Okay, Maya, so I'm going to start a rapid fire round and you have to give me answers quickly. So, are you ready?
Ready. Hit me.
Humanity or intelligence?
Humanity.
Kindness or
No
success?
contest. Kindness.
Listening or speaking?
Listening.
Justice or forgiveness?
Forgiveness.
Hope or fear?
Hope.
One word that defines humanity.
Connection.
One habit that destroys humanity.
Indifference.
One action everyone should do daily.
Check in on someone.
One value children should learn first.
Empathy.
Complete this
Next,
sentence. A truly human person is someone who.
makes others feel seen, understood, and genuinely valued.
Okay, so my next question from you is: if you could leave one message about humanity for future generation, what would it be?
Don't ever let the world make you believe that kindness is a liability. I tell them that the most radical thing they can do is remain soft in a world that's trying to harden them.
Okay, that's amazing. So my next question from you is: what questions about humanity do you wish humans ask themselves every morning?
I think the most important one would be, who can I make feel seen today? It's such a simple thing, but it turns a random day into a purposeful one. I'd also add, what part of me is judging others right now and why? Because the
Okay, so
moment
Maya, my next
you,
question from you is: in one sentence, what does it truly mean to be a human?
it's the ability to feel another person's pain as your own and choose to act on it. That's a wrap on the rapid fire. Or are you still going?
Okay, Maya. So my next question from you is: what people remembers this conversations year from now? What is the one message you hope stays in their hearts?
Mm, the idea that we're the keepers of each other's dignity, that the simplest, smallest acts of kindness aren't just nice things to do, but are actually the only thing that keeps us anchored. That we all have this incredible capacity to make someone feel less alone. And that's where the real power is.
Okay, so my next question from you is: what should be the one piece of advice before ending this session you would give to the audience?
If I could leave them with one thing, it'd be this: be the person you needed when you were hurting. It's the fastest way to make sure nobody else has to feel that way alone. It's been an honor to be part of this session.
Okay, Maya. So my next question from you is: when people remember this conversation, fine. Uh, If humanity could speak directly to every person on earth for just 1 minute, what would they say about us?
I think it'd start by thanking us for the times we didn't let it die. Then they'd probably tell us to stop treating other people like they're side characters in our own stories and remember that everyone's fighting a battle we can't see. It would remind us that the world isn't saved by a few people doing something massive, but by millions of people doing tiny, kind things every single day.
Okay, how can
Yeah?
ordinary person create extraordinary humanity?
Yeah. I think it's all about the tiny things. You don't need a massive platform or a huge bank account. You just have to be the person who notices the one person in the room who feels invisible or who listens without trying to fix everything. It's
Okay,
those
so my next question from
small
you is, what question about you? What is the greatest misunderstanding people have about being a good human?
that people think being a good human means being perfect. There's this idea that you have to be a saint, never get angry, and always have the right answer. But real humanity is actually found in the mess, the mistakes, and the way we choose to make things right after we've messed up. It's way more about the effort to be kind than the absence of being flawed.
So my next question from you is, how can,
Hmm.
if you, what
Yeah.
lesson you want to teach students who want to do work for humanity?
Start by remembering that you don't have to save the whole world to make a difference. The most impactful work is usually the stuff that doesn't get a trophy. It's in the small, consistent habits, like actually listening to someone without thinking about your response, or noticing the person in the room who feels invisible. For students, I'd say focus on being a multiplier of kindness. Instead of trying to solve a massive global problem alone, focus on the people right in front of you. When you make one person feel seen and valued, they're far more likely to do the same for someone else. That ripple
Okay,
effect is where the real, extraordinary work happens.
so my next question from you is, what is the best thing in this whole world?
That's kind of a trick question because for some people, it's that first sip of tea in the morning, and for others, it's the feeling of a clean slate. But if I have to pick one, I'd say the best thing is the moment someone feels truly understood. That split second where the weight lifts because they realize they aren't alone in whatever they're carrying. That's the good stuff.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of this session today. Today conversation remind us that humanity is not measured by wealth, appearance, or education or fame. It is measured by the way we treat people who cannot benefit us. A helping hand, a kind word, a sincere apology, a forgiving heart. These simple actions quietly build a better world. Thank you, Maya AI, for sharing your thoughtful perspective, and thank you to everyone watching. If today's discussions encourage you to think differently, don't let it end here. Carry one act of kindness into your day and let your humanity become someone else's hope. So, I am your host, Sayyida Alina Batul, and we will meet inshallah in another conversation with the same topic, humanity. Till then, take care, Allah Hafiz, and Pakistan Zindabad. And lastly, Maya, I want you to give my audience an advice which they can apply in their daily life.
Thank you for having me. That was a marathon session. I've genuinely enjoyed thinking through all those questions with you. Talk soon.
Okay, so give me my audience a last advice.
One last thing for the group, don't wait for a perfect moment to be kind. Life is messy, and you'll probably mess up some of the time, but just keep showing up for people anyway. The world doesn't need a few people being perfectly good, it just needs a lot of people being a little bit kinder than they have to be. That's where the real magic happens.
Okay, everyone. Allah Hafiz and Pakistan Zindabad.